Thursday, August 1st. Stan Ehrlich, Market Analysis. We have a pretty significant down day today in a variety of respects. As you guys know, I start out with the stock market indexes, the Spider family, Dow family, NASDAQ family, and go to futures. I lately also have Bitcoin involved, and sometimes go to sectors and other groups, cycles, and so on. Let me talk about cycles for just a second. October has an extremely strong history of producing a buying opportunity, sometimes relatively small, sometimes gigantic, like October lows in the last 2 years. For the last 30 plus years, 90+% of the time, there's been a major buying opportunity or minor buying opportunity in October. Now, the decline into this low, and that's what it oftentimes is, and I'll have charts for you in the next couple of months frequently of historical evidence, history, track record, etc. I did it the last couple of years. I'm tracking what I believe to be the beginning of the move down into the October lows. So only 3 times since 1997, I believe, has the October low failed. And on all 3 of those occasions, it was very close to October, within like a week. So there's some kind of an extremely strong tendency for the market to bottom out in most of the time, but right around October. Okay, fine. Don't ask me, look it up yourself. Use the Spider, Dow, anything that'll go back a long time. Dow probably. Now, we started out on strength this morning. Market popped up. In some cases, the index got above yesterday's high. In some cases, it was a new high for a few days, maybe a week or so. But in most cases, we've rallied about halfway back up of the previous break, which started around July 11th or 17th or so. This in 16. So middle of July, let's say, and for the last 2 weeks. I think it's over. That opening rally high was right up against resistance on my yellow line here in the E-mini daily chart. And I'm now going to show you what the 1-minute chart looks like, or 15-minute rather. Holy smokes. Early this morning, just after the opening, we hit a high, and it was a minor new high right here. And that wasn't particularly important from a support and resistance area, which I like, but it failed miserably. And now we are way down and have plenty of time and don't seem to be able to hold any kind of a bounce so far. We are low and last, making new lows as I speak. If we get below our support level, which is, there we go. Well, at least into it. Let's say below 54.32. Yeah, that's good enough. It would be considered a significant major breakdown, breakout to the downside, bearish indication, a lot of indicators starting to roll over or rolled over and confirming, blah, blah, blah. That would be bad news, bearish, and that's exactly what I think is about to happen, which I've been talking about for a couple of weeks now, about the markets getting, generally speaking, oversold, and we got sell signals on the exact top of the market on the NASDAQ futures, as well as the Dow futures, YM. Perfect. Not, unfortunately, in the E-mini. Let's go. Next chart. Spider. Close to the top on a sell signal, but didn't work. Overbought, absolutely. And a downside breakaway gap appears to have happened. I said so on the day that it happened. And it's not going to get closed because I also mentioned that breakaway gaps are the least likely of the 4 kinds of gaps to get closed. Now, this was a common gap. You might even call it a midway, but they're very rare. Common gap. And it just got closed a couple of days ago, including this morning, which got higher than yesterday's high. A new high, again, I mentioned, for about a week or so. And again, I mentioned something in the ballpark of a 50% retracement from the highest high. And all of a sudden, we are now breaking below not only yesterday's low, but not too far down, which I frankly don't expect is going to happen. That would be a gigantic down day if it happened today. But tomorrow, um, we will be breaking out to the downside and making new lows for a month plus since the middle of June, June 11th. And this is August 1st. That would be considered a close below 537, let's call it. A significant downside breakout. Topped out, overbought, breakaway gap to the downside. Bottom. 2-day rally, couldn't go anywhere, made new lows on a big down gap. Wham! Challenged another support area and trying to close another old gap. Bounced for a week now, and you have a bearish engulfing ER, bearish engulfing, but not an ER signal. We weren't overbought, so we don't have that. Now, the short-term 10-minute chart on the spider obviously shows you a lot more detail, and I don't see at almost low and last anything stopping it or any activity to stop it so far. Here's the last time it got to support, breaking below approximately 537.5. Bye-bye. Next, QQQ. Outside down day, bearish engulfing, almost positively going to hang in there, almost low and last, heading south. What can I say? Same thing. Not only that, but the rally yesterday was close to resistance, and today we did hit the resistance levels I've been talking about on the rally. It did not close this gap, and now I think it's not going to get closed, although gaps are almost always closed. Can't forget it completely. But that's the breakaway. So that's not going to get closed. So what are we? We're hitting support, sort of, and getting below the low of the last week or so. Same story. Bye-bye. Next, QQQ short-term 5-minute. Oh, everything I see here is just very bearish. I'm not saying it can't bottom out right here or now, but if it stays here and doesn't bounce back up again, that's still bad news. Next, NASDAQ daily data went right up to my resistance lines, stopped cold turkey, turned around, and is not too damn far away from making a bearish engulfing. Now, I can't get sell signals because we're not getting anywhere close to overbought on these indexes. And as a result, I just don't get sell signals. But the bearish engulfing, I like very much if I get them as a continuation of a move down expectation. Now, we did get stopped out of our two short positions that we sold on the top of the market, the ER sell signal on the high day, July 11th of the NQ NASDAQ. And yikes, two great trades, excellent, no offense or buts about it. So trades always have to end sooner or later. And now I wish I still had them. But that means I would have taken a significantly larger risk by slowing down the rate at which my trailing stops, the solid yellow and dotted yellow lines, moved past tense because we're out. And I didn't want to do that because if there was a rally of that amount earlier, I would have lost a significant percent of my profit. So anyway, on the NASDAQ short-term 5-minute chart, just absolute kaboom. That's even a sharper break than we've had before in the last month or so I'm looking at. Here's the same trade I just mentioned in significant detail. There's our entry price on the top of the market, high day right there, and the next day close to the rally high. So the two green dashed lines track the equity. It's called a trade line from the beginning of the trade until it's offset, or the current quote if you're still in the trade. But we're out. Got hit right there and there. Yay, great trade. Except I feel left behind at the moment. Next, and that's always going to be the case. Don't cry over spilt milk. Now, the NASDAQ daily Dow, sorry, YM does not have a bearish engulfing, did rally up quite close to the highs we had before, but that high was a bearish engulfing ER sell signal on the top of the market, and we did have a great trade that we got out of on July 25th. So this size rally since July 25th, we're very glad. Even at current quotes, we're still right around where we got out a week ago. And that's a big down day to get down there. I haven't got anything great to say here. There's nothing that I want to say that's really bullish at the moment, frankly, unless we all of a sudden stop going down and scream straight up. That would change my mind. Dow Jones short-term chart, boom, new lows, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. The Dow was the one that got the closest to the previous highs. Next chart, Russell has made almost made new lows for 2.5 weeks. And yesterday it was making new highs for years. Short-term chart, 10 minutes, Russell. Look at the size of this break in the last day and a half. The high yesterday, late in the day, and then all the way down to here, wiping out, I'd say 99.9% of the range for the last 2.5 weeks. All it has to do is start to make new lows, which it looks like it's just about to do. And we will be in new low ground for about 2.5 weeks after making new highs yesterday. All right. Bonds. Unusual. Up there, strong, 55 ticks. Quite strong. Good follow through from the Open Market Committee announcement yesterday, the Fed, that they were going to probably, no guarantee, lower rates. We don't know exactly how much, educated guess, in September. So we'll see what happens over time. Remember, yesterday I said markets move on anticipation and reverse on realization. I would call today's break, which I kind of expected to happen late yesterday. Well, I got it today. I thought it was going to happen late yesterday. Okay, bonds up this strong, overbought for the first time for a while, ready to swing back down again. Same with 10-year notes, overbought for 2 days in a quite strong rally. So I am expecting both of these to start to turn down, which is not particularly conducive to a rally in the indexes. Crude was oversold for a day, hit a little bit of support, bouncing okay. I think we're going to end up between a rock and a hard spot here, support and resistance, and bounce around a little bit. So all I can say is, maybe a little bit higher. And then I'm going to go neutral. Natural gas hit my downside objective almost exactly to the tick, almost exactly 2 days ago, bounced a little bit, and I don't care if it makes new lows or not from here. My forecast from the double top worked out, period. Beginning to end. No problems involved. Classic downside breakout, never even popped back, except for I got a buy signal that didn't work. But the overall pattern, just discounting the signals, did the job. Next, heating oil. Sell signal on top. False buy signal down below. But these things do provide a clue that the market may be trying to bottom out. We got oversold a couple of days later, and we're popping back to around the levels of the first buy signal, which again didn't work per se. But I'm wondering, oversold, kind of support, not that great. But here we are at resistance. I need to close above 25, let's call it, 2.5, in order to pop up to 2.6. That's about the best I can say. Next, gold and silver and platinum. You got to watch very carefully silver and platinum here. Great, highly rare, very rare formations in silver and platinum. Gold's got a big sideways nothing going. Maybe we'll get overbought again on this little rally, stop again. It's interesting that this last time we went down and bottomed a week ago, didn't even get oversold or test the support level, which has stopped it 3 times before. So it found somehow support a little higher. So if we start to make new highs aggressively, that could be very bullish for gold. I doubt it. Let's see what happens if it rallies a little bit more. Now, we have no problems with the way silver is acting at all. This is a small head and shoulder top. It is the last shoulder on the larger head and shoulder top. So this is a shoulder right here. The double top formation on the head and shoulder large formation centered around May 23rd, a little left, a little right. The first shoulder high was on April 12th. That is the larger head and shoulder top, which was breaking its neckline the same day that we fulfilled a minimum small Downside objective on the small head and shoulder top, again, the small one, which was this last shoulder on the big one. That's the unusual part. There's a head and shoulder top inside of a head and shoulder top. Now, I may have seen 10 or 20 of these damn things in 52 years I've been doing this, soon to say 53. But anyway, they're rare, very, very rare. And this is working great. Neckline broken for the big one. Now that's the downside objective. And it is all the way down to 2409. So we've already gone down approximately 50% of the downside objective. It's already been hit. We've had a bounce out of oversold conditions a little bit, and we have an outside down day in progress today at the moment. That's usually the predecessor to more weakness. And I think we're about to make new lows again. Again, downside objective 2410. Pattern wise, we're short at about 29.87, a little bit below the neckline. But if you were short from the neckline on the last shoulder high, which was a head and shoulder by itself, you would be short at 30.65-ish. Never had a problem, rallied back to the neckline, broke out to the downside, made a low, rallied halfway back up to the neckline, today's high. That's about right. Doesn't have to go much more than that. That qualifies. Could have. But with the bearish engulfing, south. Next. Same pattern, just spread out quite a bit. In the platinum, look at this. First shoulder high on the big pattern, April 12th. Top formation, the head of the formation, an ER sell signal on the damn high day, May 20th. Last shoulder high on July 5th, but that's also the high of a small head and shoulder top by itself, creating the last shoulder. There's the neckline on the little guy. It says it's supposed to go down to where we almost hit a couple of days ago, 929. But our low was at 935 and change. We've had a rally. It's been close to the neckline on both patterns. The little one, that's the blue dashed line right there highlighted, and the yellow one's the neckline, and they intersected just a day or so ago, so they're close together. Very unusual to have it come up right in that little crux there, that combination of the two lines crossing. But we almost have a bearish engulfing, not quite like silver, but platinum is below yesterday's low. It looks like it's starting to move down to test this low. That low being broken will probably fulfill the minimum objective on the small head and shoulder top, which is the last shoulder and the big one. Wow, I'm having trouble keeping track of this stuff. The minimum downside objective is 808. Next chart, copper. Bearish engulfing. I don't think support's going to hold. The next level down below that is going to be around 3.7, 3.8. Yep. Next chart, and it's heading there. Grains. Well, I've been talking bearish for a long, long time, months. We have a new low for the trend. We may have a new low close. I don't see any extreme, sharp, big weakness like a gap down. Then I would proclaim oversold, exhaustion gap, possible bottom, but that's not happening. This thing is sludging its way slowly lower, and it deserves an occasional bounce to the upside. Maybe this next time, 1042-ish. The last one didn't get as high as I thought it would. I don't know. I'm just bearish, and I have no idea how low it can go. Soybean oil broke long-term major lows, killed an old big pattern that was bullish, hopped back into resistance, and now today a bearish engulfing. I'm afraid it's going to make another new low real damn soon, probably tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, trending a lot lower. Here is that gigantic, I'll show it to you, pattern I was talking about for a long time. I thought that could have been a shoulder, and this the head, and this the shoulder of a giant head and shoulder bottom. It started to work out okay for a little while, a few days in early July, but then everything fell apart, and now it's made another new low. Plus, all the time has passed. That pretty much kills the shoulder idea, which kills the whole pattern idea. And I erased some markers that I had. This is just a bear trend line, but it could have been something similar to the next. Anyway, still del fuego, heading south. Meal. I think it's going to start slipping. I hope it's going to get to my objective of 306 on a small double top formation, which had a bearish engulfing ER sell signal on the high day. Then I don't think that's going to hold the objective. I don't think support's going to hold. I think meal is going to do everything that every other grain has done. And here's corn. It broke out to the downside on a huge downside heavy volume day on June 28th. Classic. Didn't have any strength at all to bounce in the next week or so. Came down again to new lows, got oversold even more so, and then popped back a little bit. And then the last couple of days have been going down, and again we're getting oversold today. Reason for a minor bounce back up to what? 390? Maybe 408 or 910? Yeah, that's not out of the question. And I really still can't rule out 426 if there's a really good reversal of some sort. But I'm not calling 26. I'm looking still at 409 and maybe even a hell of a poor rally, 391. Next chart, wheat has done all of the same things. Major long-term breakout to the downside July 12th, rallied back up to a little resistance, and that's it. Classic, by the way. Stopped, dead, turned around, made new lows a couple of days ago. Now, here we had a bullish engulfing yesterday. This is a brand new signal, and I pointed it out yesterday. It happened while I was making my recording. Now we do have a retracement. I'll put the strategy in probably for tomorrow. ER3 got filled approximately at 525.24, I'll say. Not too close to today's low, but we're at 32. So we have about an 8-cent profit on ER3 scalp and overnight if we're not stopped out today. And ER1 overnight should be doing very well. I don't think the dip down today was enough to bang it out of a trade, but ER1 scalp probably did make a little profit yesterday. Again, I'll show you the details tomorrow. Next. Oh, so therefore I have to be friendly to wheat at a minimum, but damn, the long-term picture is just so bearish. I can't believe we're bottoming out. Oh, one other comment, and I have failed to put a little circle around, and I will do it right this moment. Highlight, control, copy twice. And now I get to do it on yesterday's reversal, and I get to do one of these, one of these on the reversal just a couple of days later. So there have been 3 bullish engulfing ER buy signals. The first 2 either worked a little bit or didn't work. This one is a little bit different. So let me comment things. Maybe it's going to be zippy enough to get us up in the sweet chart up to about 590, give or take 10, 20 cents. Yeah, 15. So anyway, around there. And we'll see what happens. But that's the most I can expect. I like the fact that there's 3 signals in a very short 2 weeks. You don't see that very often. Next, cattle. Double top at resistance with overbought conditions. Classic. Look at today. Kaboom. Support never even gave it a chance. It just dropped through the beginning and then the end of the support and dropped like crazy. No reversal, no sell signal on the highs, unfortunately. We're coming very close to a downside breakout on this little double top, and that's the downside objective if the pattern works correctly, 174.37. Miss Piggy, into resistance, hanging in there right now at the highs. Maybe it'll push up a little bit more. I'm looking for a possible 78.70, and maybe the top of resistance per se, 79.25. We'll see what happens. Obviously, trend is not up and hit a major resistance area on this last rally. So I think it's going to stop short of that this time and turn down again. Bitcoin, BTO. One of the reasons why I don't like, and I can't say commodities don't do this and stocks don't do this, but Bitcoin tends to jump around a heck of a lot because it's trading against a 24-hour market. So it's only open when stocks are open, this particular symbol, BTIO. So overnight, the actual currency, if you want to call it a currency, has gone up or down a lot, and this one it reopens. It's like the spider relative to the E-mini. Same parallels. What's happening with the spider while we're talking about it? Maybe it made even new lows. Looks plausible. I'll change this. I'll expand this real quick. Oh, yeah. We've made new lows again in the last 15 minutes. Switching to 1-minute charts super quick. 5 minutes ago, we made the new low for the day. This is just getting more sell signals. You guys have a great day. Look forward to you talking tomorrow. Have a profitable trading day. By the way, I'm going to end up probably with a lot of sell signals and a lot of stocks. Bye-bye. Profitable trading to you.